airlines are a fascinating paradox. They effortlessly bridge the gap between our world and the furthest corners of our globe. Yet, in the midst of our journeys, we rarely pause to contemplate the nature of the airline carrying us through the skies. In this new series, we're going to look at some defunct airlines. Forgotten companies, once mighty, now restrained to the history books. Despite the memories, most airlines are all but forgotten when they depart for the final time. In this video, we're looking at an airline incredibly special to me. Why? Well, this was the first airline I ever flew on. And that airline is BMI Baby.
Listen up, you gorgeous sky-going people. From now on, there's going to be a cheap way to fly around Europe from East Midlands Airport.
So, who are BMI Baby? Well, in 2002, British Midland, an established British airline, launched a subsidiary, which aimed to tap into the growing market for low-cost air travel, to mainly compete with the likes of the rapidly growing Ryanair and EasyJet, and soon enough, Jet2.
BMIBaby.com, the airline with tiny fares.
BMI Baby's first aircraft was Golf, Echo, Charlie, Alpha Sierra. As you may have guessed, this aircraft simply came from the parent company, British Midland. It would remain in the fleet for just 3 years, however, moving on to Air China. According to data from Airfleet, this aircraft is currently stored, previously flying for the now also defunct One Airlines. BMI Baby's primary bases were in Birmingham and East Midlands. As you can see on the route map, they had a fairly modest number of locations in Europe. From what I can remember, I flew with BMI Baby from Manchester to Jersey and East Midlands to Palma de Mallorca. BMI Baby operated a total of 28 Boeing 737 Classic aircraft across their 10-year lifespan. However, by the time of their demise, only 14 of these aircraft remained. Most aircraft still fly today, including one aircraft which still frequents UK airports with Jet2 as Golf, Delta, Foxtrot, Tango. 2 aircraft were scrapped when BMI Baby was dissolved. One of these aircraft, a Boeing 737-500, registration Golf Bravo Victor Bravo, is in some trees near Bruntingthorpe. There is a report by Simple Flying suggesting a member of the public from Lancashire plans to convert its old aircraft to a functional living space. BMI Baby aircraft sported a red, white and blue livery, prioritising their website, and sporting their mascot named Tiny. This would imply a young, agile and fun airline, as was represented in their advertisements. BMI Baby's first flight took off from East Midlands Airport, bound for Malaga, under a flurry of press attention on March 20th, 2002. Ryanair's CEO Michael O'Leary stated that the move was a late knee-jerk reaction, whilst Barbara Cassani of Go warned that this tactic had been tried in the US and failed every time. Despite this adversity, BMI Baby exceeded expectations within its first year of trading by 100%. BMI Baby had earned its wings, and before long it began its expansion. Starting with East Midlands, the airline opened its second base at Cardiff Airport. Then, in 2003, a third base was established at Manchester. Then, just a few months later, Teesside, and then Gatwick. The airline would go on to launch flights from Birmingham and Edinburgh. Ironically, Birmingham would become BMI Baby's most popular base, surpassing its original East Midlands. BMI Baby cabins offered blue leather seats, with basic branding typically including the airline's mascot. The 737 Classics were configured with the standard 3x3 seats, with 30 inches of seat pitch. A variety of items were sold on board BMI Baby. The drinks and snacks menu was named the Tiny Bites menu, and the BMI Baby in-flight magazine was known as Yeah Baby. Something else of note here is you were able to purchase scratch cards on board, not too distant to what you'd find on a Ryanair flight nowadays. On March 1st, 2007, the airline took some of its focus away from the budget market and announced an initiative for business travellers with a only choose what you need approach. This allowed passengers to choose from a range of services such as ticket flexibility, airport lounge access and online check-in, only paying for services which they used. The company also utilised BMI Baby's already established frequent flyers so they could gain Diamond Club miles. So, a fantastic airline. What went wrong exactly? Well, from what I can see, not a whole lot. BMI Baby's only notable incident was on the 19th of October 2009, when a Boeing 737-300, registration Golf Oscar Bravo Mike Papa, carrying 134 people on board, struck a flock of birds on departure from Knock. The aircraft landed safely in Shannon 25 minutes after departure. Engine 1 received significant damage and all 38 fan blades of the CFM56 engine were replaced. Engine 2, however, had escaped complete destruction, having only received 2 distorted fan blades. In 2006, BMI Baby closed their base at Durham Tees Valley. The cause of this was cited as insufficient passenger numbers. Then in December of 2008, the airline announced that it would be suspending 5 routes from East Midlands Airport. This was cited as a result in the reduction of number of customers who were booking city breaks. Further cuts were announced in November of 2009, when the airline announced that its fleet would be reduced from 17 aircraft to just 12, with up to 158 jobs at the risk of redundancy. The airline cited that this action was necessary to stem record losses and that it would be focusing on growth routes best fit for the business. Then, in April 2011, BMI Baby closed its bases at Cardiff and Manchester Airport. This was cited to increase services at Birmingham and East Midlands Airport, as well as opening a new base at Belfast City Airport, moving from Belfast International Airport, where the airline was based for several years. Sometime after, the airline Lufthansa purchased the airline BMI. However, BMI Regional and BMI Baby were not part of this deal and would be put up for sale. On the 3rd of May 2012, the IAG announced that it had not found a buyer for the airline BMI Baby and suggested that the operations were closed down. Soon, flights to destinations such as Belfast, Amsterdam, Paris and Geneva ended. All remaining services ended by the 9th of September 2012. The final flight to operate was Flight 5330 from Malaga to East Midlands. Over 800 jobs were lost by this closure, including 400 at the head office in Castle Donington. In researching for this video, I found a Facebook group relating to the closure of BMI Baby, created by the employees. Some of the posts in this group from 10 years ago were very sad to read, and at the time a petition was created in an attempt to save the airline. Sadly, this didn't work, and BMI Baby was restrained to the history books forever. If a buyer had been found, who knows where BMI Baby would be today. In researching for this video, I found a number of sources saying how cheap BMI Baby used to be and how wonderful the experience was, especially for an airline mainly aiming at the budget market. It's worth making a comparison to Jet2. Jet2 were an operator of primarily the Boeing 737-300s in the 2000s, just like BMI Baby. Jet2 obtained their first Boeing 737-800 in January 2011. Perhaps BMI Baby would have done the same, and would still have been jetting high into the sky to wonderful destinations to this day. Today in the UK, we don't have a huge amount of choice in airline selections. I remember being at the airport in the 2000s, looking out into the apron and seeing BMI Baby aircraft. First choice, Thomson Fly, Monarch, Thomas Cook, Flybe, to name a few. Sadly, all these airlines met a similar demise. But it's worth mentioning, whenever I stand in an airport, all I have to do is stare onto the apron and I can still recall that very moment I stood below a seemingly giant Boeing 737-500 with the comforting branding of one of my favourite airlines, BMI Baby. And now for a short message. This video was especially difficult to make, in that there isn't a lot of footage of the airline BMI Baby. Remember, this airline first flew in 2002, and just a decade later, it closed its operations. It wasn't necessarily a large airline either. The point we're trying to make here is, a lot of the media in this video simply doesn't belong to me or the Flight Sim Hub. We're using this content under fair use, and to illustrate a story to remind people of this fantastic airline. So with that in mind, we'd like as many of you as possible to check the description for the sources we found this media from. It is all history and they make for fantastic watches. There is, however, a clip I would like to give a special shout out to and include it at the end of this video. This footage and audio comes from Heimer Aviation videos and captures one of the final BMI Baby departures and includes a final sad call from air traffic control. Speaking with Heimer Aviation, we thought it would be simply too much to leave out of this video. Enjoy and head over to his channel to subscribe for excellent aviation coverage.
Land runway 04, surface wind 1005 knots. Aviation Sierra, contact Stanford radar 136.2. Best of luck, bye-bye. 136.2, baby, 290. Thanks for all your help and take care, bye. Sorry you're going.